She took a deep breath and waited for a moment, but she felt dizzy. Actually, she was finding difficulty to stand. Was she hallucinating, or was the whole world starting to get blurry? All the noise of the city around her suddenly went very far away. It was like she was diving underwater. Was this the reading Steiner ability that Uncle Ocarine had talked about? Was she starting to acquire it too? And then she realized how warm she felt. The truth hit her. Yes. That seems like a regular fever to me, if you ask me. But what do I know? She somehow staggered back to the lab. It seemed she was worse off than she thought. If she could have, she would have fallen to her knees right there. During the war and afterward, when she joined up with her dad's organization, she'd been hurt badly enough to get into a coma several times. But this was the first time something like this had happened since she became a time traveler. It's the first time you've ever been sick. Here, I'll take care of you. She looked up at the second floor. The lights were on. She felt honestly relieved to know her dad was there. She walked up the stairs. The door was unlocked. She didn't have the energy to speak, so she tried to silently take off her shoes and then she tripped. Oh. She fell forward. Itaru was in the room. He saw her and ran over. She rubbed her knee and tried to stand up, but staggered again and fell into Itaru's arms. Thank God, Moriyuki. When she heard those voices, Suzawa finally realized that Yuki and Mayuri were also in the room. She let her guard down as she realized. Yuki seemed unconcerned by Suzawa's obvious uneasiness. She walked over with a serious expression on her face. Gladly. Yuki brushed her bangs aside and put her forehead up against Suzawa's. This is one way to check it. Suzawa's heart started pounding. She had distant memories of her mother doing this before. Fucking wish that's how people checked fevers. Fuck. That's too sweet. God damn it. Dora put his big hand up to Suzawa's cheek as well. Suzawa used the last of her energy to reach the sofa. She collapsed on top of it and closed her eyes. Calm down, she told herself. Christ. I don't. Onomatopoeia, used to describe the act of smelling something, often used in manga and the internet. Favorite phrase of perverted gentlemen. Its origins are unclear, but its use has been seen as far back as a popular comic during the early 80s. Fucking disgusting. Oh god, don't say that. Because he'll probably get off on it. Suzawa kept her eyes shut as she complained. Yeah, please. As she listened to the conversation going on around her, Suzawa felt a cold towel on her forehead.
悪いね、まゆ姉さん。気にしないで。
僕ちょっと風邪薬買ってくるからしばらく寄ろう。
いってらっしゃい。鈴葉さん、起きられますか？お兄さんが戻ってくる前に着替えだけ済ませてしまいましょう。
Shizuha opened her eyes. Yuki was standing over her and looking down.
いや、このままでいいよ。今までもそうしてきたし。
In fact, before Suzuha became a time traveler, there were many times when she'd been unable to rest even if she was sick. Meantime, she wasn't able to change clothes or even lie down. Compared to that, this was a lot nicer.
ダメです。風邪はひき始めが肝心ですよ。でもじゃありません。早く脱いで。
Don't have to tell me twice. Yuki was a little more forceful than usual as she tried to take Suzuha's clothes off. Suzuha jumped up, surprised.
わかった。やるよ。自分でやる。汗びっしょり。まゆりちゃん、乾いたタオルはある？ああ、はい、これ。
Yuki took the towel that Mayuri had brought from the shower room and gently wiped the sweat off of Suzuha's forehead and neck.
くすぐったい。
What the fuck is this timeline already?
少し我慢してください。
Because I'm
子供じゃ
enjoying
ない
it.
んだから。けど、
Suzuha shook as she rubbed it with the towel. She wasn't used to being touched, and this was the first time since she was very young that anyone had done this to her.
もういい。自分でやるってば。別に遠慮しなくても。遠慮とかじゃないから。
Suzuha grabbed the towel from Yuki, trying her best to hide herself from the gaze of the other two. She took her clothes off and wiped away the sweat. Her face felt really hot. She didn't know if it was because of the fever or not, but she was finding it difficult to think straight.
これでいい？はい、よくできました。あとはこれを着てください。
She grabbed the new pair of underwear and clothes from Yuki. Still trying to hide herself, she put them on. When she lay back down on the sofa, Yuki put a blanket on her.
まゆりちゃん、このお部屋って洗濯機はないんだっけ？
Please take it away so Dara doesn't do anything with it.
いつもそれで困るんだよ。まゆし、後でコインランドリーへ行ってくる。そんなことまでしてくれなくていいってば。こういう時はお互い様ですよ。そうだよ、すずさん。お腹は空いてます？何か食べられそうですか
？Suzuha looked at Yuki, then Mayuri, and was about to mumble another refusal, but then she gave up and pulled the blanket up to her nose. This was really hard.
お腹はそんなに。でも薬を飲む前に食べておかないと。おかゆなんかどうかな。それいいね。
Look, whatever she makes, I'm eating it. Let's just put it that way.
じゃあすぐに作りますから、ちゃんと寝ていてくださいね。
No problem.
うん。
Absolutely divine.
ただいまだお。
Shut the fuck up, Daru. Itaru came back from the drugstore a while later.
疲れた。
You need more exercise, buddy. He was really out of breath. He must have gone running there and back. You're only exhausted because you never exercise, she thought to herself. But for some reason, the sight of her exhausted father made her happy, and she quickly shook her head.
ご苦労様、ダルくん。これからおかゆ作るんだ。
You better not be trying to make it.
それを食べたら薬を飲ませてあげてください。
She can make it, though. Itaru walked over to Suzuha as he answered.
具合はどうなん？
よくない。
やっぱ疲れが溜まってたんだな。鈴葉が休んでるとこ見たことないし。
我ながら情けないよ。私、ここにいない方がいいかもしれな
No,
い。
you're staying.
え？
I need you to stay.
どこかで気が緩んでたんだ。 父さんがいて、まゆ姉さんがいて、ルミ姉さんがいて、いつの間にか母さんまで。そのせいで時々任務を忘れそうになる。
He won't forget.
なんだかこの温かい時間がいつまでも続くんじゃないかって錯覚しそうになったり、
Wish it did.
このまま戦争なんて起きないんじゃないかってふと考えてしまったり、普通の女の子と同じような暮らしに憧れてしまいそうになったり。
それのどこが悪いって言うん？
When Dora spoke, his face was actually serious for once. He was looking straight into Suzawa's eyes. It was the face of the father she knew so well, the man who was always there for her.
ここを出てどこへ行くつもりなんだよ。
それはマシンの中とか。
You can't always run away.
あんなところにずっといられるわけないだろ。
でも
あんなところに娘をずっと置いておけるわけ。
とさ。
For a moment, Suzawa was about to cry. She squeezed the blanket as hard as she could to stop herself, and then...
おっと、なんかマジレスしちゃったお。
Net slang, the act of responding seriously to a post without joking around or posting memes. Fuck.
とにかく
I know I
僕
don't
は可
post
愛い子と
the
一緒にいられる
seriously
のが嬉しく
that
て、
often.
こっそりハーハーしたりクンカクンカするのが楽しみなのだぜ。
Stop.
特に風で汗まみれになってる女の子は大好物です。
Why?
やめて。
だったら早く直すといいよ。僕にハスハスされるのが嫌だったらね。
Yeah,
Wakata.
bye. I'm going to Yuki's place. Suzan whispered back a response, then turned away from Ataru and pulled the blanket closer.
もしかして今の僕の言葉でトラウマ解消しちゃった？
バカなこと言ってると治ってからひどい目に遭わせるよ。
ブーツ履いてゴリゴリ踏んづけるとかそういう？
Fucking stop.
指と爪の間にいろいろ刺す。
それだけはマジで勘弁してください。すみません。
She could smell the pleasant scent of Mayuri and Yuki's cooking from the kitchen.
なあ鈴葉、そろそろ教えてくんないかな。僕にも手伝えることあるかもしんないし。
後で二人きりになったら話
No,
すよ。
don't worry. It's just this random girl that I came with. She's probably like way older now, but you know, it's fine.
あ、うん。
She's like
そ
slightly
れ
older
で
than
もい
you
い
now.
けど。
まゆ姉さんには聞かせられない話なんだ。
え？
Oh wow, I was right. Yeah, there was no way she could tell Mayuri. 3 days later. Suzawa was still sick. Yuki came over every day with Mayuri to check on her. Because of this, Suzawa was able to eat nutritious food and her fever had gone down. Now all that was left was to get her strength back. But still, Yuki kept telling her she needed to lie down. This meant that for the better or for worse, Suzawa spent her whole day on the sofa half asleep. Somewhere in her half-awake mind, she had heard a terribly off-key tune. Hey. That's rude. It's a lovely song. Or melody. Fuck you. Off-key, my ass. You're off-key. Since she also heard the sound of falling water, it was probably coming from the shower room.
これ
Can I go in
何の
there?
歌だっけ？ねえ、母さん。
Susan has heard it when she was very young. Her mother had been singing it just like she was now. But what exactly the song was about, she just couldn't remember.
もう起きなきゃ。いつまでも寝てられない。
But even when she tried to open her eyes, they just wouldn't move. Her body must have needed more rest. Maybe Yuki was right, and she needed to lie down some more. She moaned and twisted slightly. When she did, the blanket fell to the floor. She didn't feel like she had the energy to pick it up. She could sense someone standing up from the desk when Itaru always uses the PC. Whoever they were, they came over and put the blanket on.
マユ姉さんの匂い。
Weirdly, Mayuri always smelled good, even when she wasn't using perfume. It was a slightly sweet smell, like a pale white flower. It was the scent that had held her all night, on that distant day in the future when she'd lost her mother. Susan pulled her legs inside the blanket and grabbed onto her knees, like a baby in the womb. Memories went in and out of her mind as she lay there half asleep.
ママは痛い思いとかしたのかな。苦しい思いとかしたのかな。
She suddenly remembered what Kaguri had said to her after they traveled through time. 2036, the day when she'd left. At the last second, Mayuri had looked at Suzuha and Kaguri inside the time machine and smiled. It was just like the gentle smile on Suzuha's mother's face when she died protecting her daughter. Damn. I'm glad there's not a CG of that. That would be brutal.
すずさん、起こしちゃった？うん。ちょっと前から起きてた。何か食べる？うん。
After she said yes, Suzuha snapped back to reality. She was getting weaker. When she realized that, she forced her sick body off the sofa. Her head shook, and she had to stop herself from falling forward, but she grabbed the back of the sofa and managed to stand on her own 2 feet.
ダメだよ。そんな急に起きちゃう。もう平気。迷惑かけたね、まゆ姉さん。迷惑だなんて、そんなことないよ。
Mayuri went to the kitchen and turned the burner underneath one of the pots. The sounds and smells of bubbling stew filled the whole lab. Mayuri mixed it with a ladle and stopped every once in a while to taste it. She turned towards Suzuha and smiled.
大成功だよ。まゆ姉さんが作ったの？うん。ゆきさんのおかげで、まゆしーの腕はめきめき上達しているのです。
I wouldn't doubt it at all.
兄さんは？メイクインに行ったよ。その後はバイトなんだって。
He should be here eating Yuki's cooking, but whatever.
そっか。あ、ダルくんがいないからって夜出かけようとか思ってるでしょ。
Maybe.
ダメだよ。平気。平気じゃないよ。そういうこと言うとユキさんに叱ってもらっちゃうから。
Yes, please. God, I want her mad at me.
私がどうかしたの？
That's the dream. The curtain of the bathroom opened and Yuki came out. Her skin was just a little flush.
すずさんがね、寝ていてくれないのです。まあ、ダメですよ、すずはさん。うん。あと1日、おとなしくしていること、いいです。うん。
Suzuha's answer was less than enthusiastic, but she gave in to Yuki's glare and sat back on the sofa.
はい、そのまま横になって。わかったよ。
She pouted and slumped down on the sofa and then pulled the blanket on top of her. Suzuha was capable of talking back to big sis Mayu, but she would never be able to talk back to Yuki. I wouldn't either.
何？すずさんってそうしてると可愛いな。今の姿をダルくんに見せたらちょっと危ないかも。
Please stop.
そうだね。時々本当に兄弟なのかなって思うことあるし。
Please stop.
気持ち悪いこと言うな。
No. No.
あれれ、すずはさん、もしかして照れてます？照れてなんかいない。本当に？当たり前だろ。なんで私が？と言いつつ照れてるすずさんって やっぱり可愛いね。萌えだね、萌え。
I mean, both of you are absolutely adorable. Let's be real
う
here.
るさいな。
Need to take care of Suza. Suza couldn't say anything, so she just had to turn away.
さてと、マヤシーはそろそろアルバイトに行かなきゃ。シチューは食べていかないの？アルバイトの帰りにもう一回ここに寄るつもりなんだ。そのとじゃあサラダか何か作っておいてあげる。一緒に食べ。ありがとうユキさん。楽しみにしてるね。
Mayuri told Suzanne one more time that she needed to keep laying down, then left for May Queen. Yuki went to the kitchen, added a few seasonings to the stew Mayuri made, then turned off the burner.
あ、そうだ。スザーさん、汗かいてるでしょ。食事の前に体拭いておきましょうか。
If you really want me to, if you really want to.
いいって言ってるじゃないか。
Yuki wanted to do stuff like that every day, because she's flawless. And each time Suzanne frantically refused.
シャワーは無理でもちゃんときれいにしておかなくちゃ。
That's true.
昨日も一昨日もやったんだからいいって。1週間や2週間くらい放っておいても死ぬわけじゃないし。
That's fucking disgusting.
1週間ってそんなのダメですダメです。
Exactly. No, that's fucking disgusting. Yuki hurried into the shower room.
あのさ、自分でできるから。
Clearly.
そういうこと言う人に限っていつまでもやらないんですよね。
That's true.
そんなことダメです。
God, need Yuki to take care of me. Yuki came back with a bowl filled with hot water and a towel. She could be stubborn when she got this way. Yes, please. Suzanne learned that well over the past 3 days. Yuki was just like the mother she remembered. She slowly and uneasily stood up, and then she took off her top, trying her best not to let Yuki see her skin.
女の子同士なんだからそんなに恥ずかしがらなくても。
Jesus.
構わないだろ別に。背中だけ私が拭いてあげますね。いい。子供じゃないんだからできる。でもちゃんと拭けないと思うし。いいってば。
Yuki seemed a little shocked, but she quickly handed over the hot, wet towel.
ごめんなさい。触られるのが嫌な人もいますよね。
Apologize, don't yell at her. She's sweet.
うん。
Yeah, you are.
私こそ悪かった。お湯テーブルの上に置いておきますから。夕飯の支度しちゃいます。
Yuki walked off dejected. Once Suzaha saw that she was focused on finishing the cooking, she slid behind the curtains into the back part of the room. She used the towel and washbowl to wipe herself down. She couldn't let Yuki see her body. There are scars, both old and new, all over, and burn marks that might never heal. Yeah, that would be a lot of questions. To her, these wounds were like medals from the vicious battles she'd survived, and she didn't care who saw them. But she didn't want to let her mother see who'd given birth to her, or rather, who would give birth to her, see them. Especially not the dozens of pale white marks around her breasts.
母さん。
What? She still remembered that nightmarish day. The bullets which had killed her mother had lost their power as they passed through her organs, but they still managed to dig into Suza's skin. And then when they did, they were covered in her mother's blood and flesh. Fuck. Depression. The scars would probably never heal completely. To Suza, they were her mother's grave. Jesus. This story is so fucking depressing. Oh, God. She shook her head, trying to get the nightmare out of her mind. She took her bottoms off, and then wiped herself clean all the way down to her toes. Then she put on a new pair of underwear. It was only after she finished putting on her newly clean clothes that she felt human again. When she came back, Yuki was putting bowls filled with stew and salad onto the table. Hey Yuki, how's it going? Their eyes met and an awkward silence filled the room.
できました。
Yuki broke the silence first.
ありがとう。 どのくらい食べますか？いや、いいよ。それくらいは私がやる。
Susaha put just enough stew and salad for her meal onto her own plate, and then made a plate for Yuki as well.
すみません。いや、こっちこそ食事の用意なんてさせて。
Oh,
悪い。
Jesus. Literally perfection.
具合が悪い時はお互い様と言ったはずですよ。食べ終わったらちゃんと薬も飲んでくださいね。うん。
The two sat on the sofa and filled their mouths with stew and the salad. The stew had a mild, gentle flavor. It felt like something my Yuri would make. God, I love mother-daughter interactions here. Give me more.
ずい
Yes.
ぶん上達したでしょ、まゆりちゃん。
Awesome.
缶詰をただ温めただけとかそういうわけじゃないんですよ。大したもんだね。鈴葉さんもやってみません？教えますよ。
Yes, please.
私はいいよ。
You will become the type.
そんなことないと思いますけど。
You have too much of your mother in you. You're gonna be a great cook.
まあいつかね。いつかっていう人は結局最後までやらないんですよ。
Like that phrase?
それさっきも似たようなこと言ってた。そうでしたっけ？うん。
Then the conversation ceased for a time. Susan slurped down her stew. She had terrible manners and tried to come up with something to talk about. This time it was Suza's turn to break the silence. After what she'd remembered, she just couldn't bear to be silent around Yuki.
さっきの歌だけどさ、あれなんだっけ？歌？シャワールームでほら。もしかして歌ってました？恥ずかしい。下手なのに歌うの好きだからつい口ずさんじゃうんですよね。
No, you're an amazing singer. Don't say that. You're amazing.
別
Sounded
に
gorgeous.
うまい下手なんて気にしなくていいと思うけど、何の歌だったか思い出せなくてさ。実は私もなんですよ。え？印象的なところだけ覚えてるというか、子供の頃に流行った教育番組の歌か何かだとは思うんですけど。役に立てなくてすみません。鈴葉さんはいつ頃あの歌を？私も子供の時かな。母さんがよく歌ってくれたよ。優しそうな人ですもんね、鈴葉さんのお母さん。うん。
The conversation flowed so naturally that she didn't think about how she responded.
Eh?
A second later, she realized what she'd said, and then she stared at her mother. Wait, what? What'd she say? I fucking went over it. When did you hear the song, kid? My mom. Your mom seems like a nice person. How do you know what her mom's like? What? What?
どうしました？
How do you know what her mother's like?
あ、
Literally
私の
impossible.
母さん。どういうことって、おとといお見かけしまして。は？
What?
ですから、おとといここを訪ねていらしたんです。
I mean, if you came here, yeah, you did, but who else came here?
そんなバカな。お母さんが来たらおかしいんですか？
She's dead. Wow, that's awkward.
だって。
There's no way that she could say that her mother was right in front of her. Confused, she fell silent. Yuki, for her part, must have come to some conclusion about the reason for Suza's reaction. She started to stammer and fidget.
ごめんなさい。私何も知らなくて。もしかしてお母さんとの間に何か？いや、喧嘩をして家出してるとか？
What?
そういうわけじゃ。今にして思えばなんか変ですよね。お母さんたら橋田さんには着替えや差し入れを持ってきていたのに、鈴葉さんには何も。
What?
と、兄さんに着替え？ はい。
Susan thought as hard as she could and finally reached an answer.
あ、そうか。
Yuki was talking about how she dated Taru's mother, in other words, Suza's grandmother, who she'd never seen except in pictures. But since she told Yuki that she was Ataru's brother, it was natural that she'd make the wrong assumption. She should have said we're not blood related. Jesus fucking Christ. Okay, well,
どうしました？
I still don't like it. It just came off odd. I don't know. I got my eye on you. Not that I was ever off you.
うん、なんでもない。
If Itaru had said even a word to her about it, this wouldn't have happened. Stupid, she'd have to give him a lecture later. While Suza was thinking about the talking to her dad was going to get, Yuki had already started to sympathize with her imagined plight.
鈴葉さん、私いつでも相談に乗りますからね。何でも話してくださいね。
Jesus. For some reason, her eyes started welling up.
ありがとう。
Suza didn't know how to react to this, but she felt a little embarrassed.
やっぱり優しいんだな。
Damn right she is.
母さんは。
Just like she told Itaru, this place was too comfortable. She was starting to imagine that this life would continue forever. But sending this brief, happy time beyond the horizon, the world line, was supposed to be Suza's mission. If she didn't, this world would be destroyed.